I just spent $17.50 on a burrito, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. $17.50 from Chipotle Grill. At that. Um, Full disclosure, that is double meat, and I did get it through like Uber Eats, so I they must mark their food prices up a little bit. But if you look at my screen right now, even if you just get double meat and pick it up from Chipotle Grill, it's $14.95, and if you add guac and queso to that, which maybe somebody does, you can get that burrito up to about $18 for a burrito from Chipotle Grill. So, um, I will tell you that the brisket was good. It's not like the good brisket you're gonna get from a local smokehouse. It had like a crunch to it. It was like that caramelized outside kind of crunch, not like a burnt end that you could get, but had a nice crunch to it and not too much smoke. And I don't mind smoke, but there's a lot of people that don't like overly smoky food. So I thought that it was actually done pretty goddamn well. Now, if they would have had the queso they had before their queso now, the queso they had before this one, that was a little bit more spicy. If they would have had that queso with this brisket, I would probably pay $15 for a burrito all day long from Chipotle Grill. And I can't even believe I'm admitting that. That combo would be great. My favorite combo is at a local smokehouse where I get they got like a cheese grits and then their chopped brisket. And if you make a taco out of that, it's amazing if you ever get a chance to try something like that. But not everyone gets double meat. They charge like $5 for the extra portion. And my complaint is I eat Chipotle Grill right now, who knows, 3 or 4 times a week, 5 times a week. Since the lockdown and COVID started, I pretty much had to I always ordered double meat, but you got double meat. Since COVID started or just ordering online in general, if you don't get double meat, the portion's pretty small. And then when you order double meat, it's definitely not like double meat. There's a huge difference, it seems, from when you're standing in front of them and they're making your food and then what you get from an online order. And I guess that's my bigger complaint at the moment. If you saw the burrito I just got for $17.50, I know it's not Chipotle's fault because of the delivery services marked the prices up. So let's just call it a $15 burrito. If you just saw the burrito I got for $15, you'd be pretty disappointed. Definitely didn't feel like twice the amount of meat. And I know smoked meat is expensive. Around here, $17, $18 a pound, $20 a pound if you want to pick up a pound of pulled chicken or pulled brisket somewhere. So yeah, I know it's expensive. I just feel like if you're gonna charge me $5 for double the meat, you probably should double the meat. I don't know. I feel like they got something good here that's really expensive, and they're gonna have a hard time making customers happy at that price point with the amount of meat they're actually putting in the burrito. The sad part is after eating the brisket and then eating their chicken taco, which is normally what I like, the briskets is so much better. This is by far the best thing they've ever put out. Um, Unfortunately, for $15, I started thinking I could have went to my local taco joint and got like a skirt steak burrito, like a fire grilled skirt steak burrito or something. There's a lot of other things that started popping in my head, but I could get for $15. Throw in the Coke. I'm at $18. If I want some chips and shit, now I'm at $20 for a meal at Chipotle Grill. And this is where this brisket's going to be cool in the short term, and I'm going to be sad to see it go. But I don't know how long it's going to last because the price point's so high for what it is, the amount of food that it is. And then they don't have the queso, which I think the prior queso to the queso they have now would have been an ideal matchup. But this is something about what's going on with price creep right now. And it's kind of a business lesson. At some point, there's like, it's not even like diminishing returns. It's when it gets to a certain price point, you start thinking about what else you could get. I just did an episode on why I bought a Camaro Z01 1LE instead of a Shelby GT500. And the Ford dealer tried hitting me for like $25,000 or something on a dealer markup, which would have made that car. It would have been at the end of the day, it would have been a Ford Mustang that was over $100,000. And I was like, F that. I was able to get a deal on a Camaro Z01, and I'm just as happy with it for a hell of a lot less money. Because If I'm going to spend 100 and something thousand on a Mustang, then I'm going to go spend 150,000 on a Porsche. There is a tipping point. Everyone has a tipping point where you say, I'd just rather spend more money and get what I really want. So if I got to spend $20 for myself at Chipotle Grill, then I'm just going to go to La Botana in Troy, and I'm going to get a whole rack of real Mexican food. And I think it's going to be the issue with, Subway doesn't really do the $5 foot long as much anymore, if at all. Do you want to spend $10 on a Subway sub? And once it gets to $10, you start thinking, I'd rather just spend 14 at Jersey Mike's or something, right? Or a local deli shop. The Little Caesars $5 pizzas, it's probably $6 now, or $7 now. Once that becomes like $9, you start thinking, well, screw it, I'm going to spend 14, 15 bucks, I'll just get a Jets pizza. As these prices creep up, this is part inflation, part, smoked meat's just expensive. It does get to a point where it no longer makes sense. Chipotle was always kind of cheap. You get a burrito for like $7.35 or something, $7.65. If that's all you got, it's a pretty hearty lunch for $7-8. Now the inflation and issues going on with supply chain, prices are creeping up. You throw in a more expensive meat. Now, granted, you don't got to get the double meat. I do. I'm built like the size of a linebacker. Nothing. I need double meat in my burrito. But when you see how much meat they've been putting in, at least around here in the online orders, you basically have to get double meat. I picked someone else up tacos one day, and they had such little chicken in them. They looked at me and they're like, serious? I was talking to Kane about Panera Bread. They do this on their one of their chicken sandwiches. They give this gigantic loaf of bread for a sandwich, and they put a tiny bit of pulled chicken on it. And we laugh because you basically got to take the chicken from one half of the sandwich and put it on the other half of the sandwich to make a real sandwich. So you might not need the double meat, but at the current portion sizes, you almost have to. Maybe this is just their way of dealing with the inflation right now and trying to figure out where things go. But I feel like everything's gotten a little more expensive and a little bit smaller across all restaurants because we're trying to survive. Unfortunate. I really enjoyed this. As much as I love Chipotle chicken, this is a killer. But I started thinking about, man, I got to spend $15 here. I'm going to get the Mexican Coke every time. So I'm at $18 at Chipotle Grill. And if I have it delivered, I mean, shit. They charge an extra $2.50 just on the food. I'm at $20 plus the delivery fee and tip. Man, I ain't going to spend like $28, $30 to get a burrito delivered at that point. I do delivery a lot because I'm tied up. I work 7 days a week. Today I'm in the studio all day. It would have took me at least 45 minutes or an hour to run down to Chipotle Grill, pick up my food, do all that shit. Like, it makes sense to just get the food delivered. But, am I going to do that for $30? It's getting out of hand now. I'm gonna just make a turkey sandwich in the studio. Like, I got a refrigerator. I'll be good. If you had smoked brisket from here, drop a comment and let everyone else know what you think of it. I personally liked it. I had really low expectations for barbecue meat coming out of Chipotle Grill, to be honest. It's like Arby's. We got the meats, and even then, sometimes Arby's ends up surprising you. I was a little taken back because on Uber Eats, when you add the double brisket, it's $5.80. And I know they mark it up because it's a service, but here it's $4.95. So this burrito's $10, and then it's $4.95. Which is, I'm guessing it's the one spoonful of meat. And when you think about that, I don't know how much that spoon is, 3 ounces. So that's not far off from what, local brisket places are charging for a pound of barbecued brisket. 16, 17, 18 bucks around here, maybe 20 bucks for a pound. Maybe even more than that. The problem is that's like really good local smokehouse brisket that was like smoked right there on site. And you understand maybe paying a little bit more for it. It's to pay that kind of freight for a Chipotle brisket is a little mind blowing, but I don't know. I'm sitting back thinking I just spent $17.50 on a goddamn Chipotle burrito, and I'm asking myself what the hell's going on right now. I don't know what I'm doing to myself. Like, again, I don't know. Did I just hit a low or did I just hit a high? I don't know. Maybe hit a high because the burrito was pretty good. Maybe hit a low because I spent $17.50 on a burrito. Man, I could have went to Mexican Village and got a whole rack of good shit for $17.50. So I don't know. Anyways, if you got any thoughts on smoked brisket or these prices, drop it below. And I'd be curious to see your comments. Until then, I'm going to catch you on the next one.